Malden is a city in Middlesex County, Massachusetts, United States. At the time of the 2010 United States Census, the population was at 59,450 people. In 2009, Malden was named the best place to raise your kids in Massachusetts by Bloomberg Businessweek. History. Malden, a hilly woodland area north of the Mystic River, was settled by Puritans in 1640 on land purchased in 1629 from the Pennacook tribe. The area was originally called the Mystic Side, and was a part of Charlestown. It was incorporated as a separate town in 1649. The name Malden was selected by Joseph Hills, an early settler and landholder, and was named after Malden, England. The city originally included what are now the adjacent cities of Melrose and Everett. At the time of the American Revolution, the population was at about 1,000 people, and the citizens were involved early in resisting the oppression of Britain. They boycotted the consumption of tea in 1770 to protest the Revenue Act of 1766. And it was also the first town to petition the colonial government to withdraw from the British Empire. Malden High School has the second oldest continuous high school football rivalry in the United States with Medford High School. The first, Thanksgiving Day game, dates back to 1889. In 1984, Malden came to national renown as the location of the controversial Fells Acres Daycare Center preschool trial. In 2004, a same-sex Malden couple was the first to marry in Massachusetts at precisely 9:15 a.m. on May 17, 2004 at Cambridge City Hall. Massachusetts was the first state in the United States to issue same-sex marriage licenses. Geography. Malden is bordered by Melrose on the north, Stoneham on the northwest, Medford on the west, Everett on the south, Revere on the east, and Saugus on the northeast. Boojum Rock, located in the northwest corner of Malden inside the Middlesex Fells Reservation, is the second highest point in Malden with an elevation of approximately 275. Waits Mount is the highest point. According to the United States Census Bureau, the city has a total area of 5.1 square miles, of which 5.1 square miles is land and 0.04 square miles is water. Bordered on the northwest by the cliffs of Middlesex Fells, Malden is drained by the Malden River. Demographics. As of the 2010 United States Census, there were 59,450 people, 25,161 households, and 13,575 families residing in the city. The population density was 11,788.6 people per square mile. There were 23,634 housing units at an average density of 4,657.5 per square mile. The racial makeup of the city was 52.5% white, 14.8% African American, 0.14% Native American, 20.1% Asian, 0.06% Pacific Islander, 2.10% from other races, and 3.46% were multiracial. 8.6% of the population were Hispanic or Latino of any race. There were 23,009 households, out of which 25.4% had children under the age of 18 living with them. 42.8% were married couples living together. 12.3% had a female householder with no husband present, and 41.0% were non-families. 32.2% of all households were made up of individuals, and 11.5% had someone living there alone who was 65 years of age or older. The average household size was 2.42 and the average family size was 3.13. In the city, the population was spread out with 19.9% under the age of 18, 8.5% from 18 to 24, 36.9% from 25 to 44, 20.8% from 45 to 64, and 13.9% who were 65 years of age or older. older. The median age was 36 years. For every 100 females there were 92.8 males. For every 100 females age 18 and over, there were 90.0 males. The median income for a household in the city was $45,654, and the median income for a family was $55,557. Males had a median income of $37,741 versus $31,157 for females. The per capita income for the city was $22,004. About 6.6% of families and 9.2% of the population were below the poverty line, including 11.6% of those under age 18 and 10.2% of those age 65 or over. Foreign-born population as of 2009 and 2010, 37% of residents of Malden were born outside of the United States. This is twice the number in 1990, and an increase from the 26% of foreign-born residents in 2000. Malden's percentage of foreign-born residents was the second highest in Massachusetts, after Chelsea. As of 2009 and 2010, immigrants originate from Brazil, China, Haiti, India, Morocco, and Pakistan. The Moroccan American Civic and Cultural Association is located in Malden. Previous immigrants included Italians and Irish in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Malden also received Jews who arrived escaping Europe before and after World War II. Asian population in 1990, Malden had 2,805 Asian residents, making the city 5.2% Asian. In 2000, this increased to 7,882 Asians, or 14.5% of the city's population, in 2000. Making it one of 10 Massachusetts cities with the largest Asian populations in the state. There were 4,504 ethnic Chinese people, 876 ethnic Vietnamese, and 696 ethnic Indians. From 1990 to 2000, the Vietnamese population increased by 187% and the Indian population increased by 262%. From 2000 to 2010, the Chinese population of Malden increased by about 50%. Institutions serving the Asian community in Malden include the Immigrant Learning Center, which offers English as a second language classes, the Malden Asian Pacific American Coalition, a satellite office of the Vietnamese American Civic Association, the non-profit multi-service organization Great Wall Center, and the anti-poverty agency Tri-City Community Action Program, Inc. Education. Malden Public Schools is the school district. Malden has 5 public elementary and middle schools, 1 charter elementary, middle, and high school, 1 public high school, 1 Catholic high school, 1 Catholic pre-K through 8 school, and 1 public preschool. The elementary schools in Malden were replaced in the late 1990s with 5 new facilities: Beebe, Ferryway, Forestdale, Linden, and Salem Wood. The city's 3 high schools are Malden High School, Malden Catholic High School, and Mystic Valley Regional Charter High School. According to a study conducted by the National Center for Education Statistics in 2013, Malden High School was found to be the most diverse public high school in Massachusetts. Neighborhoods. Like many communities in New England, many towns and neighborhoods are organized around squares, which are located at the crossroads and town commons dating back from the colonial times and the early 19th century. Many of the neighborhoods take their name and identity from the main square in their area. Malden's squares include Malden Square, Converse Square, Oak Grove Square, Bell Rock Square, Judson Square, former Suffolk Square, and the location of a thriving Jewish community, Maplewood Square and Linden Square. Some of the neighborhoods in Malden include Faulkner West End, Edgeworth, Linden, Ferryway, Forestdale, Maplewood, Bell Rock, and Belmont Hill. Bell Rock is the south-central section of the city, bordered by Main Street on the east, Charles Street on the north, the Malden River on the west, and the Everett Line on the south. It contains Bell Rock Memorial Park and Bell Rock Cemetery, which contains marked graves dating back to 1670. Bell Rock Cemetery was called Sandy Bank until the establishment of the Salem Street Cemetery in 1832. It was then known as the Old Burial Ground for half a century until it was renamed in 1882. Also located in this area are the headquarters for New England Coffee. Edgeworth. The Edgeworth neighborhood is the southwest section of the city. It contains DeVere Park, Pearl Street Park, and Callahan Park. The city's football stadium, McDonald Stadium, is in Edgeworth. A school in Edgeworth is the former Emerson Grammar School. The Converse rubber factory and offices once operated in Edgeworth at the bottom of Pearl Street. This is the original home of the Converse All-Star basketball sneakers. Malden Catholic High School was originally located in Edgeworth on Highland Avenue. The school's football team played their home games at Brother Gilbert Stadium, located at Commercial and Medford Streets in Edgeworth. Immaculate Conception Grammar School was located in Edgeworth on the corner of Charles Street and Highland Avenue. Edgeworth touches Everett and Medford. Edgeworth is also home to St. Rocco's Feast, Sunsetter Awnings, and Pizza Pizza. Faulkner. The Faulkner neighborhood is generally bounded by Ferry Street on the west, the city of Everett on the south, Dell Street on the east, and Salem Street on the north. A few of the streets north of Salem Street around Pierce Street are sometimes considered part of Faulkner. In colonial times, Harville's Mill was located here, just below the cliffs, on Harville's Brook, which drained west to the Malden River. A road from Bell Rock crossed here to meet Salem Street just uphill. Formerly called Harville's Brook Lane, it was renamed Cross Street. In the 19th century, a railroad was built along Harville's Brook, named the Saugus Branch, and the brook was channeled to become a sewage ditch called the Saugus Branch Brook. During this time, industry sprouted in this area, and a large immigrant neighborhood focused around Bryant and Cross Streets took shape, named Suffolk Square. In the early 20th century, Saugus Branch Brook was culverted due to pollution. In the 1920s and 30s, Jewish immigrants from East Boston and Chelsea, as well as the west and north ends of Boston, began to migrate to Suffolk Square. During this time, Faulkner was served by 3 trolley lines and 2 commuter rail stations by what is now the MBTA. All that remains is the Route 105 T-bus line. In the 1950s, out-migration by the Jewish community to northern suburbs and the decline of railroads and mill-based industry led to a condition of dilapidated and shabby housing of triple-deckers and empty storefronts. Ambitious but experimental urban renewal modeled on Boston's Scollay Square and West End projects leveled Suffolk Square and most of the neighborhood. Controversy around redevelopment projects led to the loss of the commercial center at Suffolk Square and the replacement of dense 3-family houses with suburban-like low-income and senior public housing. Housing projects include Suffolk Manor, Senior Housing, Bowden Apartments, and Newland Street projects. The neighborhood was once served by Lincoln Elementary, Lincoln Junior High, Middle School, and Daniels Elementary, as well as the former Faulkner School at Pierce and Salem Streets. At the beginning of the 21st century, a small section of Harville's Brook was daylighted and partially restored at Roosevelt Park during the construction of the Salem Wood School on the east end of the park. Parks in this neighborhood include Daniels Park, Lincoln Commons, Roosevelt Park, and Harvard Street Park. Ferryway. Ferryway is the south-central section of the city. It contains the Ferryway School and Newman Park. The land where the school is now used to be called Ferryway Green. The Pastor Market Cafe is in Ferryway. There are also relatively new restaurants around Ferry Street. Judson and Oxford Streets are in Ferryway. Forestdale. Forestdale is the north-central section of the city and it contains the Forestdale School and Park. It also has the largest park in Malden, Pine Banks Park, and the largest cemetery, Forestdale Cemetery. Parts of Forest Street follow an old Indian path. Linden is the easternmost section of the city, generally everything east of Broadway, Route 99. It contains the Linden STEAM Academy and hunting field, and a moderately sized mountainous area topped with an apartment complex called Granada Highlands. A large portion of this neighborhood was once a marshy area up until the late 19th century. The Linden Land Company sold off house lots on land that was created by filling in the marsh around the hunting field area. People are known to still dig up old glass bottles and other items on their property on occasion. Hunting Field was once a park that encompassed the entire area inside of Broadway, Salem Street, Eastern Avenue, and Claremont Street, save for a few homes and a large trolley car barn that was located where Econo Lodge is today. The park at one point had public gardens and a fountain. Over time the land was obliterated by construction of a gated and private housing project for war veterans in the late 40s and the Linden Elementary School in 1953. The veterans' housing has since been converted to low-income housing. One of the last remaining vestiges of this park is Education Way, which was the old entrance. One of the original park's large oak trees still stands here on the corner of Claremont Street, as well as some stone walls. Maplewood. In 1847, Joshua Webster, president of the Saugus Branch Railroad, purchased 200 acres in Malden along the projected route. Here, he planned a residential development with wide streets and ornamental trees. Due to the hundreds of maple trees Webster planted, the neighborhood became known as Maplewood. Maplewood is located approximately 1 mile east of Malden Square. By car, one can follow either Salem Street or Route 60 directly to Maplewood Square. Most of Maplewood lies within Malden's Ward 6. Maplewood comprises 3 neighborhoods: South Broadway, Maplewood Highlands and Maplewood Lowlands, the most populous of the neighborhoods, which includes Maplewood Square, the heart of the Maplewood neighborhood. Numerous public buses connect Maplewood to the MBTA's Orange Line. Travel time from Maplewood to Boston, via public transit, is as little as 30 minutes. Travel time from Maplewood to the Square One Mall in Saugus is about 15 minutes. An MBTA public transit subway and commuter rail station is located 1.3 miles from Maplewood Square. Maplewood Square is 5 miles from downtown Boston, 1 mile from Route 1, and 2 miles from Route 93. Housing in Maplewood ranges from modern one-family homes in new developments to many homes over 100 years old, which have been updated over the years. There are many apartments available in 1- and 2-family homes, as well as in some newer apartment complexes like the Cliffside Apartments on Broadway. There are also some Victorian-style houses. There are 3 public parks in the neighborhood: Roosevelt, South Broadway and Trafton. Trafton Park has recently been renovated with a tot lot, tennis courts and an off-leash dog run. The future Northern Strand Bike Trail will travel through Maplewood on its route to the Atlantic Ocean. West End. The West End neighborhood is the northwest section of the city, along the border with Medford, Ma. It contains the Immaculate Conception Parish, the Fallsmere Pond and a marriage park. The Beebe School is located in the West End neighborhood. The Malden Hospital, when it was operating, was also located in the West End. Oak Grove. Oak Grove is the northwestern section of the city. Pine Banks Park and Waits Mount are in this neighborhood. Government and infrastructure. Fire Department. The Malden Fire Department operates out of 3 stations, 2 located in Malden and 1 located in Revere. The fire department was organized on April 10, 1839, when a hand tub purchased from England. The Alert 1 was received in the city and housed in a small garage on what is now the front lawn of the First Baptist Church, corner of Main Street and Salem Street. The fire department operates a fleet of 4 engines companies, 2 ladder trucks, 1 command car. There are 3 fire station locations. These include Fire Station Number 1, 1 Sprague Street, Fire Station Number 4, 5 Overlook Ridge Drive, Education. The headquarters of the Massachusetts Department of Elementary and Secondary Education are in Malden. Transportation. Major highways: Route 28, Route 60, Route 99, and US 1 run through Malden. Route 16 and Interstate 93 are a short distance outside the city's borders. Bus and rail. The city is served by the Orange Line subway that connects it to downtown Boston. The city's subway stops are Malden Center and Oak Grove. The MBTA's commuter rail also has one stop in the city and can stop at Oak Grove if necessary. During the first few years of the 2000s, the MBTA updated signal systems and Orange Line service was replaced by shuttle buses at night. Since September 2007, such service interruptions have been limited to occasional weekends, while signal system repairs necessitated closing off the northern portion of the Orange Line and rerouting passengers via replacement bus service from either the Haymarket subway stop or Wellington Station. There is a sizable section of the old Boston and Maine Saugus Branch Railroad line running across the middle of Malden. This line is currently owned by the MBTA, but has been out of use since 1993 and has not seen passenger service since 1958. A plan exists to create a bike trail along the side of these tracks on right-of-way land. Progress was hampered by lack of funds and land encroachment, but is now slated for ribbon cutting in June 3, 2012. The path will be known as the Northern Strand Community Trail. Bus service to all adjacent communities is also available via the service of the MBTA. Points of interest. Approximately 30 park sites throughout the city provide a variety of recreational facilities including tennis courts, basketball courts, playgrounds and ballfields. Other sites include a 400-meter synthetic running track at McDonald Stadium, 56 acres of the Middlesex Fells Reservation, the 25-acre Falls Mere Pond, a DCR-owned and operated swimming pool, a 30,000 square feet field house built under the new school rebuilding plan, the state-of-the-art Malden YMCA finished construction in early 2007, and Pine Banks Park, operated by a board of trustees with equal representation by the cities of Malden and Melrose. Waits Mountain is also in Malden. Other points of interest include the Converse Memorial Library and the Congregation Beth Israel. One of Malden's finest and most notable landmarks is the Public Library, which was designed by Henry Hobbs Richardson and built in 1885.